boys and girls. Welcome to Children's Church Online. We are so excited to have you here with us today. Today we are going to do a story about Jesus washing the disciples' feet. And we're going to learn how we can be servants. And now, here's Miss Jen.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to do the Children's Church Online, and we're going to be learning about John 13, 1 through 17, where Jesus washes the disciples' feet and shows that he is servant-hearted. Jesus was a perfect example of being servant-hearted. He spent his entire life serving other people. He served his family, he served his friends, he served his church, and he served the whole world. And we can do the same thing. In Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, it says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves." So, in order to do that, how can we serve others? How can we be servant-hearted? If we're stuck at home or have a job, or maybe we think, I'm just a kid, what can I do? Well, one thing that you can do is help out in your community, help out your family, and help out your friends. And now let's watch a video on one great idea on how you can serve your community.
The person I served was an older lady who had health problems from her past. She couldn't do a lot and she was very immobile. She was also suffering from a lot of depression, and at the end of the week, she was already doing a lot better. She was happier, she was writing, she was reading, she was playing with her dogs. It was really cool to see her growth.
Serve like Jesus. What did you do?
Pretty much anything a resident needed. We started with the ideal of painting her house and getting her trim done. Then we fixed her cellar door. Then we helped her garden. Then we helped her transplant roses that were important to her. We helped her clear out her shed and helped her get rid of a lot of stuff she's holding on to.
What did you like about serving?
Serving was really cool because it gave everyone something to do that made them feel helpful. They could project God's goodness instead of just talking about it.
What stood out to you about serving?
When we started serving, we were all kind of strangers, but everyone just got really close really fast because we all had a common purpose. We all just wanted to help.
Why is serving important?
When the Bible says that Jesus was servant-hearted, I think it's a call to us that we need to rise to the occasion and help the people that can't help themselves like Jesus did.
How did serving help you get to know God more?
I got really close to God on this trip because it kind of gave me a taste of what he does in our lives. God always gives to us and he always provides, so it was cool to get to provide for someone else.
Did you make new friends?
When we serve others, it brings us closer to the people around us, even if they're complete strangers. It was really awesome to get to know new friends and see their similarities and differences and how they can combine to best serve others.
Is serving hard?
Serving people is always going to be hard because serving requires work and work takes effort. But it's always really fun because you can have the joy, and with the joy you can turn that into fun, like singing into wrenches or playing air guitar.
Serve like Jesus.
Normally, we would take some time and answer some questions about the video. But today, since we're doing a video, I'm going to ask you to pause every now and then after I ask a question and talk about it with your parents or your brothers and sisters, or just take a moment and think about it for yourself. So, what did Faith do to serve the people in her community? How did her serving make her feel? What are some things that she learned after she served in her community? What did you learn about serving from Faith's story? What could you do to serve the community around Bellefonte? There's a lot we can take away from this video, but most importantly is that Jesus was servant-hearted, and that's why Faith was servant-hearted. So with that, I would like to read a story from the Bible. This comes from John chapter 13. I have a storybook here that I'm going to read to you. This Bible story is from the book of John, chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. It was Passover, the time when God's people remembered how God had rescued them from being slaves in Egypt. Every year, they killed a lamb and ate it. The lamb died instead of us, they would say. But this Passover, God was getting ready for an even greater rescue. Jesus and his friends were having the Passover meal together in an upstairs room. But Jesus' friends were arguing. What about? They were arguing about stinky feet. Stinky feet? Yes, that's right, stinky feet. Now, the thing about feet back then was that people didn't wear shoes. They only wore sandals, which might not sound unusual, except that the streets in those days were dirty. And I don't mean just dusty dirty, I mean really stinky dirty. With all of those cows and horses everywhere, you can imagine the stuff on the street that ended up on their feet. So anyway, someone had to wash away the dirt, but it was a dreadful job. Who on earth would ever dream of volunteering to do it? Only the lowliest servant. I'm not a servant, Peter said. Nor am I, said Matthew. Quietly, Jesus got up from the table, took off his robe, picked up a basin of water, knelt down, and started to wash his friend's feet. You can't, Peter said. He didn't understand about Jesus being the servant king. If you don't let me wash away the dirt, Peter, Jesus said, you can't be close to me. Jesus knew that what people needed most was to be clean on the inside. All the dirt on their feet was nothing compared to the sin inside their hearts. Then wash me, Lord, Peter said, tears filling his eyes, all of me. One by one, Jesus washed everyone's feet. I am doing this because I love you, Jesus explained. Do this for each other. In our Bible story, Jesus served the disciples during the Last Supper and cleaned their feet, something that only the lowliest people typically do. Jesus was servant-hearted, and we should be too. So now we're going to take some time and put together a fun craft, a foot scrub that we can use on ourselves or on other people to show how much we love them and how much we want to help them. Here's the final sample of the foot scrub we're going to be making. You can see it's squishy, it's kind of, if you feel it, you will notice that it's kind of scrubby, and it smells good too. You can't smell it through the camera, but you will after you make it be able to smell it. It smells nice. So we're all going to make this. So I'm going to go through the ingredients, and then you can pause the video and go find everything you need, and then we'll make it together. So first you need a little sandwich baggie. You need a 1/4 cup of sugar. You need a tablespoon of vegetable oil, a spoon, some scented oils, or I used peppermint extract from my pantry, and then of course, some markers. All right, we have all our ingredients ready. We have our baggie, our sugar, our oil, our peppermint extract or other scented oil or extract, a spoon, some markers, and then I have my sample here ready for you to check out anytime you need to. So the first thing we need to do is take our sugar and our oil, and we are going to pour the oil into the sugar. And then mix that up. Careful not to make too much of a mess. You'll notice it gets all sticky as the oil blends in with the sugar. It gets nice and sticky. And then you can take your scented oil or extract, whatever you're using, just put in a couple of little drops. You don't need much at all. And then mix that in real good too. You can probably already smell it. Hopefully it smells good. Oh, and there I am making a mess. Don't do that. Once it's all mixed together really well, you open up your baggie and you pour, oh, nope, I lied. Don't open up the baggie. You need to color your baggie first. It's much easier to color when it's empty. take some markers, and I wrote foot scrub, and I put some hearts and flowers on it, but you can do whatever you like. So I'm going to start, let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to put a big heart on it, color it in, because I think that looks pretty. Okay, let's do this so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. And I'm going to write be servant hearted. All right, so there's my pretty design. You can pause the video if you want to and take some time and color your bag however you want it to look. And then when you're ready, then we can open it up and pour our scented foot scrub right into the bag. Very carefully so your mom doesn't have too much of a mess to clean up later. And then seal it up, and you've got a nice foot scrub that you can use on someone you love. Make them feel a little bit cleaner, a little bit special, and smell nice too. Now that you have your foot scrub, you can share it with your family and friends. There are some other ways that you can serve in our community too. It might seem hard being that you're just a kid and you're stuck at home and all kinds of other reasons you feel like you can't serve the community. But here are some ideas. You can write letters or create cards and send them to the senior citizens in our community who are at the Oaks or at Centercrest, or your grandparents or your friends' grandparents, or you can send some to our church who will share them with the shut-ins. That's a great idea. You can help your mom and dad out with some chores. You can take out the trash, you can clean some dishes, you can clean your room, run the vacuum. All of that are great ways to help serve your family. If your parents say it's okay, maybe you could foster a pet for a while. Right now, there's some pets out there that don't have anywhere to go, and if your parents say it's okay, maybe you could help out and foster a pet. You could go through your toys and clothes while we're at home and find some stuff that you don't need anymore and donate it to somebody else who could really use it. And most importantly, you can pray for your friends, your family, our town, and the whole world, and hopefully everybody will feel happy and blessed every day. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you liked today's Children's Church Online, and we hope to see you next week when we post a new session. Thanks. Bye.